Larry,
Yes.
you're on with Tony Sims from GeekDad.com.
Hi, Larry. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with us. I'm Tony Sims, like you said, with one of the Geek Dads here at Wired's Geek Dad site. Can I call you Larry, or do you prefer Mr. The Cable Guy?
You call me whatever you want, Tony. Where you at?
I'm actually in Mississippi.
Hey, all right.
So yeah, you're are you calling from me from over in Orlando right now?
Well, you know what? No, I'm in Nebraska right now. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, you got a game coming up?
Yeah, we got to play Michigan State on Saturday. But I'm from here. I grew up here, moved away when I was 15. I've lived in Florida 33 years, and I got a little boy that's starting preschool, so I moved back to Lincoln.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still in Orlando.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, I grew up with wide open spaces. You know, we had about 450-some acres down there in southeast Nebraska, so I bought a farm up here outside of Lincoln, and I got a stocked fish pond, and I got a creek running through it, and I'm surrounded by cornfields, and my little boy loves it.
All right.
And so does my little girl. So we just ended up moving back. This is actually our first, we just got here, so I'll see how I like January and February. I might have to come back.
Yeah, winters. We're not used to those down here in the southeast.
No, I know. I'm used to doing outdoor activities January 15th, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, my kids are trick or treating in shorts.
My brother and sister, by the way, were born in Biloxi.
Oh wow, that's actually where I originally hail from myself.
Okay, yeah, my dad was in the Air Force.
Yeah, Keesler.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let me ask you a couple questions here. I'll keep it brief. Was the role of
Favorite country song, by the way, is Jackson.
Oh yeah, good one. Was the role of Mater written with you in mind, or did you have to audition for it?
No, you know what? It wasn't. They had it written, and John. This is actually a great story. John Lasseter had it in his mind about Mater. He knew what Mater was going to sound like, and he said they called every actor they could think of. They could not find a voice. He did not like any of the voices. They just didn't fit Mater. And he said, on a whim, he said, hey, he told somebody to go get the Blue Collar CD. It was the Blue Collar, the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'd heard about Jeff, of course. He goes, but I didn't really know who the other guys were. So I wanted to hear who was on that CD. And he goes, I sat in my office, and I was doing some work, and I popped in the Blue Collar CD, and the first guy up was Larry the Cable Guy. He goes, and as soon as he started talking, he goes, that was it. He goes, as soon as you started your jokes, I was just in my head, I go, man, that's Mater. That could be Mater. And then he died laughing. He loved the routine. He said he laughed the entire segment. It was only 10 minutes. And he called the secretary and said, hey, that's Mater. This is Mater. Get that guy on the phone. I want to hire him to be Mater. And I literally was sitting at home, and I got a fax from my management, and it was the letter that John Lasseter sent to my management to me about hiring me as Mater. And I literally started crying. I was so excited because I've been doing stand-up forever, and you know, you do everything you can to try to make things click, and next thing you know, boom. And it was just a small part, but I didn't care. And then when I went out and I did the voice, it was pretty funny because I did the voice and John loved it. John and I hit it off. I mean, he was just such a good guy. He was almost like my adopted brother, you know. I hit it off. I came home. I didn't hear from Pixar for about 6 to 7 months, and I thought, oh boy, I sucked. What I do, get fired, and next thing you know, they called me up, said I'd come out and do another session. Sorry it took so long, but they really liked the Mater so much that they've put him throughout the movie. They've added a ton more lines, so I got to come out and do a ton more lines because I originally was done. I went out, did a 6-hour session, finished my lines, and I ended up going out there 7 more times.
Wow.
lines. I mean, they really, really liked it. I think the best compliment I got from Mater is they had an animator that came over from Disney that used to animate Winnie the Pooh. And he said his whole life when he was a kid, Winnie the Pooh was always his favorite cartoon character, and he said he now has a new favorite one, and that's Mater. So I knocked Winnie the Pooh off his perch.
How much, since you're naturally a funny guy, how much of the dialogue is scripted versus off the cuff for Mater?
Well, you know what? John lets you ad lib as much as you want, as long as you stick to the script. As long as what you're saying is is the point of what was written. So he would let me add words. He definitely made me say things like I would say it. For instance, if one of the lines was, "Hey everybody, I'm going to go up to the store and get something to drink. Who wants to go?" Say that's the line. I'd be like, "Hey y'all, I'm fitting to get thirsty. Who wants to head up there and get something? Something. I would just change it like that." And about halfway through me doing it, I'd see him start to smile and laugh. So I knew that he would keep it. But it was funny when I first got it. I was pretty nervous, and I remember the first thing I ever said was, "Morning, Sleeping Beauty. My name's Mater." Well, I did about 3 lines, and then I told John, I said, "Hey, John, you know what? That's not the way I would really say that. If I said that, I would say it a different way." And he goes, "Oh, no, that's what I want you to do. I want you to say it how you would say it. You're Mater. I mean, what's written is just to kind of tell you where we're at. But as long as you kind of say the same thing, I don't care how you say it, as long as you get to what the ultimate goal is." And I said, "Perfect." So that really opened me up and loosened me up to where I could do variations of the lines, and it worked really good. So I would say I stuck to the script pretty much 80% of the time, but I reworded it probably 70% of the time.
Huh.
And then I did my own line only maybe 15% of the time, but I definitely butchered the lines as much as I could, because that's what Mater does. He doesn't speak good grammar, so he butchered all of his lines. And so the more I would butcher the lines, the funnier it would get.
What's next for Mater? Has there been talks of making this into a trilogy?
You know what? I have no idea. John never really says. I know that he really likes these, and they're his brainchild, and he's really proud of the Cars series, as well as am I, and everybody that's been a part of it. I don't know what he's going to do. I do know we're going to do some more Mater tales. I know there's tons of toys. I do the voices for everything. I didn't get a celebrity impersonator. So anything that's Mater is me on it, and it keeps me pretty busy, which is awesome. But if there's a Cars 3, I got to tell you, I would be very excited if there is, and if there's not, I'm happy for the 2 that I've done, because not everybody gets to not only do 1 Pixar movie, let alone 2. So I'm happy either way.
Well, speaking of the merchandise, what is your favorite Cars toy or item?
Oh, man, there's so many of them. I think probably my little boy's got the Mater alarm clock, which I think is pretty cool. So, I mean, every morning, that alarm clock will go off, and it's some kind of a Mater phrase. I think that one's pretty cool. I also like we played one the other day. Oh, the Cars Operation game, where you're taking stuff out of vehicles and you hit the sides and it beeps. He really, both my boy and girl like that one. So those are probably my 2 favorites.
Okay. We've seen many famous folks that have cameos in both of the Cars films as Cars, obviously. If there was a Larry cameo vehicle besides Mater, what would it be? Would it be a Ford Super Duty or an early model Bronco? What would that be?
It would be a cattle truck.
A cattle truck.
It'd be a cattle truck because when I was a kid, growing up, I worked at a cattle barn. It was right across the street from my house, and I always wanted to be I wanted to drive a cattle truck and be an auctioneer. And
Nice.
I'm obsessed with cattle trucks. I have in my house, I have a collection of like potbelly cattle trucks, semi-trucks, and haulers. So I would definitely be a cattle truck.
Besides the Cars franchise, what is your favorite Disney movie?
I like The Incredibles.
Incredibles. Nice.
Yeah, I like. If I had to pick another one, it would be The Incredibles, and probably just because of one part and the very. My wife and I crack up every time. Well, you know what? I like Up too. Up is a really good movie. I like Up because it always makes my wife cry. She can't handle the movie Up, and I'll admit, neither can I. But there's a scene in The Incredibles where it's Craig T. Nelson, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's trying to get his microphone on. And I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Oh yeah.
But in the very beginning, he's like, "These microphones, can never figure out how to get these." Yeah, I'm telling you what, that makes me laugh. That is the funniest. So that was the first part of that movie. That's what made me like. That movie is just funny. I like the Craig T. Nelson parts. It was really funny. So.
Well, before you left Orlando, I'm assuming that y'all have probably been to the Disney World parks once or twice.
Oh yeah, you know what? I haven't. My kids were actually have been too young to go to enjoy it. Now they're old enough. They're 4 and 5, so now they really dig it. So I'm actually going back home. I just sold my house, thank God. So I'm actually going to go back. And my wife and I have always wanted to stay in the what's that hotel where the tram goes through it?
The Contemporary.
The Contemporary. My wife and I have always, from the time we were kids, wanted to stay in the Contemporary Hotel. We never have. And it's not really, back then it was Contemporary. Now it's the least of the Contemporary hotels.
Yeah.
We want to stay in that hotel and take the kids, and so they'll have the tram to go to Disney and Epcot. So that's what we're going to do for Christmas break this year.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to go to those parks. Now, I want to take my kids. I know that they're doing Cars Land.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a Cars thing at Disneyland. And I'm going to, at some point, take my kids out there. They're going to have all kinds of car stuff. And it's a whole area just with rides that are geared toward the movie Cars. So I'm going to take them out and see that, too. I'm actually doing a lot of the voicing and stuff for that next week, in November for the Cars Land.
Nice.
Just so you know, Tony, this has to be the last question. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Can I ask one more?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Is Larry secretly a geek? Do you hide your gadgets to protect your reputation as the cable guy?
No, not really. I don't know if I don't hide my gadgets. No, I'm a gadget guy just like everybody else. If something new comes out, I got to get it. So my brother-in-law, he's not even my brother-in-law. He's my wife's sister's husband. He works at AT&T, so I think I'm going to get the new iPhone 4.
Nice.
I don't have it yet, but I got everything else. I got the iPad, I got the iPhone, I got the 3D TV. I'm an electronic. I love that stuff. So anything that new comes out. But my problem is, here's the problem with being an electronic geek like that. You always buy it when it first comes out, and then they make it, and it's super expensive, and then they make it a year later. It's twice as good and half the price.
Of course.
It's like when DirecTV first came out. I was the first guy in line to get DirecTV. It was $600, to get the thing. And now here it is, all these years later, you can actually just buy the service. You get everything for free.
Yeah, it's free, and they'll even come set it up.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I'm an electronics geek.
Good.
I'm not good with it. I always have my buddy Randy make sure everything's working for me. I don't know how to get everything working, but once they're working, I know how to operate them.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate y'all taking this time with us this morning, and send us off with a Mater goodbye, I guess.
I'm happy in the Tornado in the trailer park, and I'll see you in Radiator Springs.
Thank you very much, Larry. I appreciate it.
You got it. Get it done.